No, nothing. There's nothing I know of. There was a fish fry going on down the road, but I'll get more intel on you for tomorrow. Yeah, absolutely.
Coach, Aaron went out there in a tracksuit today. Obviously, we're still a ways before we can get to that initial 2 weeks, but just to see him out there today.
Yeah, he's on track. The 2-week idea would be Rangers game, and then it's going to be some block of time after that. We'll move him to, if he continues, then we'll move him to day from that time on.
And then Chucky leaving early.
Yeah, he's going to be fine. Yeah, he's fine. I just don't know if he's going to skate in a couple of days. We'll see. All those guys, Barkov, they were as good today as they were going into the game. We're just taking this block of time to try to get them to 100%, but they could practice full without much of a concern. It just wouldn't heal, so they're fine.
And Bobrovsky just a day off?
Yeah, under the weather.
Your goalie room?
Yeah, something going on with the goalies, but nothing serious.
Nice for him to get a day off anyway.
Yeah, he wouldn't have skated all 3. We won't as a team here. We're going to start the process of managing the 10 games in 17 days that we have coming up here. As I think 6th straight or divisional. So it's not ideal. What we're trying to do is get into a bit of a playoff format now and just carry it. So we go harder, a little longer, and a little heavier on the ice today and in the gym as well. And tomorrow we won't skate. We'll do a full recovery day from today. And that lets the players push themselves a little harder. Then we'll go and we'll skate the next day. We've got the game, and then we'll start talking about you probably won't see a practice till April 8th.
You get a lot of guys out there for a good 20, 30 extra minutes. I'm sure knowing that there's nothing tomorrow that they enjoy days like this where they really give her a go.
So we tell them before practice start that it'd be 45 minutes, and we dead stopped at 44, no matter where we are on the drill, so they know how to. These guys work hard. That's not a problem. But when you know when practice is going to end, you can push yourself as hard as you can, and then after that, there'll be guys that'll stay out, there'll be guys that'll get into the gym and lift a certain way. Everybody has their own maintenance program, so it's a really good day to push a little bit, and then we'll go full recovery tomorrow, so there's a difference in workload. It comes back down, and then our practice moves to speed on Wednesday. It'll be shorter, but up and down as much as we can, and then away we go.
How have you found the fit with Vladdy Tarasenko so far, just in terms of acclimating with his new teammates and on the ice?
Yeah, I think we're going to try him in probably 3 spots. And so him with Lusteran and Lundell was kind of spot 2 on his natural position that he's played the most. I've liked it. I haven't loved it. It's hard to assess. I haven't loved our team game clearly in our last 5. So we'll move that around. He's a good player, and he's a smart player, and he's going to fit in really well here. We'll find the place for him where he can excel. I've got lots of confidence in that.
Have you found, just because he primarily played on the right side for so much, he's just totally cool with playing wherever you want him?
You can play left or right. It has more to do with the speed in the middle, so he can play with Benny and he can play with Barkey. The question is, can he play in what we would call the Reinhart hole? Because that's where Sam Reinhart, and I think Sam scored 33 in that hole for 2 years, and it became a really powerful line for us in the playoffs. So that's kind of where he's going now, playing the Reinhart hole. And I like the early returns. And when we made the change in between the first and second period, and after that, our 5-on-5 game looked different. There's a couple more things I haven't seen yet. Rodriguez playing with Bennett and Kachuk. I'd like to see that for a little bit, and then we'll have an idea. Is you don't run the same lines, even in any one playoff series due to injury or adjustments, road and home. So you want to have a good feel for what your team looks like when you move people around.
Speaking of Evan Rodriguez, is he doing all right?
Yes, he'll be fine. He was just off with Barkov, and that same idea. He would absolutely play a game almost pain-free. We're just trying to, I don't know, we're sitting at 92%. We're just trying to get it closer to 100 because we have the time to do it.
Speaking of the new guys, obviously, Oki and Vlad both played, but Toby just been around, kind of soaking up things. What do you want him to get out of his time right now with you guys? Obviously, still a very young guy and new to the team.
I think there's a bigger adjustment for defensemen to make in the systems that we run than for a forward to make. And that's what it's all video. It's all watch the games, get into practice, get into the rhythm, and get yourself comfortable. Our neutral zone is more The forwards can screw up 4 different ways and we can survive it, but the D can't. So there's a couple of places in our game where our defense they have to go. It's harder if they don't go through training camp. So that's what he's kind of going through right now.
Depending on what happens today, could he be?
Yes. Yeah, he could. We'll talk about that depending on how the ruling goes. Yeah.
Wednesday. Reinhart hole could be for a band, but
I like it.
Oposo, I think you talked about this is only his 3rd team. This is the first time he's ever been like a deadline guy.
Yeah.
So he's not going through training camp with team number 2.
Right.
How do you think
he's fine, and almost then not even going to assess it for the first couple of weeks. I think with 10 games, he's getting into games, and we'll just start building from there and finding the right place for him to play. A lot of change for him for sure. It'll take some time. Hockey is unusual at this time of year. It's frenetic. It's kind of all over the ice, and the risk profiles of all these teams changes. So you'll see teams just blowing the zone and leaving because they got nothing left to lose, right? And then all of a sudden it all comes back. When it gets into a more understandable game, I think that's where he'll excel.
Now, speaking of the Reinhart hole, what's gone into his season from where you stand, and what do you appreciate or look at for?
I think what happened, so we'd go back, right? So when I got here, we start going through players and watch video. You ask the question, have Reinhart and Barkov ever played together? And the answer was they tried it for the first 22 games. It didn't work. And then so you watch more training camp and you say, yeah, but there's something there. Clearly, we played them together kind of the first 20 games last year. They generated a lot of chances, but at the end of the 20 games, there weren't enough numbers to support them staying together because they're too important. So we put Sam back into a position where he had excelled. They took off and we ran the year like that. This year they came back. Both of them, I think, had made significant changes in their summer training program, and they both look faster. And I would say that there was enough visually from the start of the year where you actually didn't understand why it didn't work. It should have worked. It was too good. The puck just didn't go in the net for them. They get back into camp. Sam had trained so very hard this year, you wanted a little reward, and so, well, we'll just try it again. And off it went. And that was it. I mean, there's been points in the season where I think when Barkov hasn't played, in the handful of games that he's missed, we put Sam back with Lundell and Luosterainen, and that I think in a lot of ways got Lundell going this year. It's still good, right? And then you get to the point of the end and say, well, maybe just it's good wherever Sam or Barkey play, you're going to have a good line. We haven't played Sam Reinhart with Sam Bennett much. That would be the one pairing that we've never tried on a short-term basis when we had. It didn't look like there was something there, so we didn't stick with it, right? There's 2 other really good places to play Reinhart, so that's kind of how the decision process is. Sometimes it's just a bit of a flow chart. What have you liked? What don't you like? Pick one of the ones that you like and go back and forth. You'd like to have 2 places that everybody can play. Verhaeghe is a good example of that. He kind of bounces between Bennett and Barkov and has success. I thought last year that we timed it right. We got it every time it started to fade. We'd flip and off he'd go. I'm not sure we've got it quite as right this year, but Sam Bennett missed the first chunk of the season, and it took him a few games along with Matthew to get going as well. I think that's the entire. That is an absolutely incredibly long-winded answer to your first question. We'll go back. We felt it should have worked. We felt strongly enough that it should have worked right from the start that we gave it another chance.
Going back and having an opportunity to digest the last 3 games, I mean, what kind of went wrong to kind of get into a hole early on each of those last 3 games?
Well, we were playing on the outside and trying to score goals when we shouldn't have been. When the key to our game is our reaction on the change of possession, I think, is elite. And we haven't been. So the puck's changed possession and we're late. And we've put our defense in a very difficult position because I kind of demand a hard gap game from them. Because you cannot hard gap the game if your forwards are behind it. So our forwards have been behind it. Our D have been doing what I've asked. They look foolish because of it. We will rectify it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hey, Coach.
We'll go this way.
Yep, thank you.
Thanks.